Pope Francis apologized to young people who feel ignored as he wrapped up a month-long synod meeting focused on their concerns.
Scusateci se spesso non vi abbiamo dato ascolto.
The Holy Father made the apology during his homily at the closing Mass for Synod on Youth on Sunday. It brought together more than 260 cardinals, bishops, and priests for 4 weeks to discuss how the Church can reach the youth. Vatican correspondent Juliette Lindley joins us from a rainy Rome. Juliette, we have been following the Synod closely. The Synod Fathers released a final document over the weekend that summarizes their conclusions. Tell us the highlights.
Lauren, indeed, after nearly a month of discussions on how the Church can reach the younger generations, the bishop's bottom line was this: we need to get better at listening to you. So the document says the Church must find new ways of presenting its teaching on sexuality and continue to accompany and listen to people with same-sex attraction. Another topic that emerged as a theme is what's known as synodality, meaning walking together with the Church. The Synod's final report also touches on the role of women, formation of the conscience, and the use of technology. So it was a very wide-ranging document, Lauren, that delved into many issues facing youth today.
Some parts of that document are causing concern among some Catholics. What are they?
Lauren, a lot of Catholics would have liked to see a stronger response to the clergy sex abuse scandal. Now, while the issue was mentioned, critics say the bishops didn't ask for forgiveness. And another issue, Lauren, of concern was the ambiguous language on homosexuality. The hot-button issue of LGBT wasn't dealt with per se, which pleased many concerned about a push to normalize homosexual relations in the Church. But there was the reaffirmation of a commitment against all sexually based discrimination and violence. And the section on women in the Church also drew some criticism. That's because the Vatican said the document gives greater recognition to the role of women, including in decision-making. But it did not get specific, Lauren. A small number of women, as we know, were involved in this synod, but they weren't allowed to vote on the final document. And Pope Francis has already ruled out women's ordination.
What happens next? What do bishops do with this document?
Well, bishops will be waiting to hear what the Holy Father has to say about the final report. The Pope usually considers the conclusions and then writes an apostolic exhortation. Now, that's a document that encourages people to undertake a certain activity. Now, in September, Pope Francis changed synod rules. He might not publish an exhortation at all, but will use the final report as his exhortation itself. So, for the moment, we're waiting to hear from the Vatican whether he will do that. And one thing is for sure, Pope Francis was very engaged during this synod. He listened, he took notes, he was very present, and people noted that very much, Lauren.
Thank you so much, Juliette Lindley, EWTN News Nightly Vatican correspondent.
Thank you, Lauren.